At first glance, this overshoot versus bounce back animation looks simple, but there's a small detail that makes a massive difference. In this After Effects tutorial, I'm gonna show you exactly how I created this piece. We'll break down the motion behavior, dive into the color choices, entire design process step by step. Create a new composition, go to Composition, New Composition. Give it a name such as Overshoot versus Bounce Back. For the preset, choose Social Media 1080 by 1920. Since we are creating vertical contents, set the duration to 10 seconds, which is more than enough for this animation. Then click OK to confirm the settings. Next, double-click our reference graphic screenshot to open it. This will help us pick up our colors and match the design perfectly. Now right-click on Empty Array and the timeline. Go to New and select Solid. Let's name this layer BG for background. To match the color, click on the color box. Grab the eyedropper tool and sample the background color directly from our screenshot. This is a super quickly way to keep your motion graphics color accurate. You may notice that original design has subtle grid lines in the background. Let's recreate that effect. Go to Effects and Preset. Search for the grade effect and apply it to the BG layer. With the background layer selected, open the Effect Controls panel. Change the size form option from corner pin to width slider. Then set the width value to around 90. A border value to 1 usually gives a clean result. You'll notice the background becomes a bit darker after applying the grade effect. To fix that, change the blend mode from none to add. This removes the darkening effect. Then reduce the opacity to around 10% for a subtle grade. If you want the exact assets I'm using, you can grab the project files via my Patreon link in the video description below. In this part of the video, we'll create the title banner at the top of the composition. First, make sure no layer is selected. Then choose the rectangle tool. Draw a rectangle near the top of the composition. Next, increase the roundness value from 0 to 50 to create a smooth and rounded corners. Now switch back to your selection tool and click on the fill color box. Grab the eyedropper tool and sample the exact color from our reference screenshot. Next, let's set up the stock. Click the stock color and start by matching it to the fill color. Then in color picker, drag the color selector slightly upward to create a lighter version of the same color and click OK. A stock width of 1 pixel works well for this design. To center the rectangle, click the Align Horizontally button. Now right click the shape layer and rename it to Motion Behavior so it's easier to identify later. Once again, make sure no layer is selected, then choose the Type tool and type Motion Behavior Comparison on the top of the rectangle. Switch back to the selection tool and change the font to Poppins Bold. If the text anchor point is not centered, hold down the Ctrl key and double click the pen behind or anchor point tool to automatically center it. Finally, if the text is not perfectly centered on the composition, click the Align Horizontally button to align it properly. Now let's create the same design at the bottom of the composition. First, make sure no layers is selected. Then grab the rectangle tool and draw a rectangle near the bottom of the composition. Switch back to the selection tool and increase the roundness value to 50. If the corners look too rounded, you can reduce the value to around 20 or 30. Next, we'll change the fill color. Make sure rectangle is selected. Click the fill color, choose the eyedropper tool, and sample the green color from the bottom left rectangle in the reference screenshot. To position the rectangle accurately, open the View options. Enable Proportional Grade and align the rectangle using the grade lines. Once it's in place, rename shape layer Overshoot. Next, grab the Type tool and click over the rectangle and type Overshoot. Back to the selection tool and center the text inside the shape. Instead of starting from scratch for the right side, let's duplicate what we have. Select both Overshoot layer and text layer in the timeline. Hit Ctrl+D to copy them. Move these duplicate layers to top of your timeline and keep this thing organized. Hit P on your keyboard to open Position property and adjust X value to slide the duplicate layers to the right side of the composition. Now let's rename these layers to Bounce Back. Double click text and change it say Bounce Back. Use your selection tool to recenter it within the new rectangle. If the text anchor point is not centered, hold down the Ctrl key and double click on the anchor point tool. Repeat this step for Overshoot text if needed. We center the anchor points because it makes scaling the text using easier while keeping it perfectly aligned. With both text layers selected, hit S on your keyboard for scale. Reduce the scale slightly so both text levels fit nicely and remain centered within their rectangles. To finish up the design, select right side rectangle shape layer, click on its fill color, grab the eyedropper tool and sample the blue color from the bottom right rectangle in the reference screenshot. Go ahead and turn off the professional grade, and just like that, our background layer and text graphics are completely done. Next, we are gonna draw a straight dash line right above our rectangles. As always, make sure no layers are selected. Then grab the pen tool, click on the left side and hold down the shift key while clicking on the right side to draw a perfect straight horizontal line. If the fill option is enabled, set it to none. Then change the stroke color to white. Let's right click this new shape layer and rename it to line, so it's easier to identify in the timeline. Next, expand the layer by opening contents, shape 1, stroke 1. Click the plus icon next to it. This will instantly add a dash property. You can adjust the dash value here to change the size and spacing of your gaps to your liking. Finally, scroll down a bit further under stroke 1 and expand the taper section. Set both the start length and end length to 10%. This will instantly sharpen the start and end points of your line. Now let's create the ball showing in the reference image. First, select the ellipse tool and draw a circle. While dragging, hold down the shift key to create a perfect circle. If your fill is not active, click the wall fill at the top to enable it. Then click the color box, grab the eyedropper tool, and sample the green color from our overshoot. Position the circle in the correct location. Right click the layer in the timeline and rename it to ball overshoot. You'll notice that circle's anchor point is not centered. To fix this, make sure the circle layer is selected. Hold down the Ctrl key and double click the pen behind tool in the top bar. On that's done, switch back to your selection tool. Now let's give the ball a subtle 3D appearance. Right click the circle, go to layer styles and choose gradient overlay. In the timeline, expand the layer styles, gradient overlay, then click edit gradient. Select the left color stop and change it to a green color. You can use the eyedropper tool to sample the exact shade from the reference image if you like. Next, select the right color stop and change it to green. Click OK to close the gradient editor. Now right click the circle layer again, go to layer styles and choose inner glow. Expand layer styles, inner glow in the timeline. Change glow color to green, again using the eyedropper tool if needed. Increase the size value to around 30, so the edges of the ball get a soft wrap highlight. You can tweak choke slightly if you want to sharpen the edge. Finally, right click the circle layer one last time. Go to layer styles and choose Bevel and Emboss. Expand layer styles, Bevel and Emboss in the timeline. Change the highlighted mode color to green, then set depth value to around 50% and gradually increase the size value toward 100. As you increase the value, you notice the ball gradually gains depth and looks much more three-dimensional. Now let's create the second ball by duplicating the first one. Select the ball overshoot layer and press Ctrl+D to duplicate it. Rename the duplicate layer ball bounce back. With the duplicated layer selected, hit P for position property. Adjust the X value to move the ball to the right side of the composition. If needed, turn the proportional grid from the grid and guide options at the bottom of your composition panel. Use the grid lines to position both balls so they are lined up perfectly with the reference design. Once you are happy with their replacement, you can turn the grid off. Now let's change the ball from green to blue. Expand the ball bounce back layer and open layer styles, inner glow. Change glow color to blue. You can use eyedropper tool to sample the exact blue from the reference image. Next, again expand layer styles, Bevel and Emboss, and change highlighted mode color to the same blue. Finally, open the gradient overlay options and click edit gradient. Change both left and right color stops to blue. That's it. We have created the second ball by simply duplicating the first one and changing its color without modifying any of the effect settings. Now it's time to apply the bounce effects to both balls. First, select both ball layers and press P to reveal their position property. Make sure the current time indicator is at the very beginning of the timeline. Then click the stopwatch for both layers to create the fast position keyframes. Next, move forward 4 frames by pressing the page down key. 4 frames usually produce a nice snappy bounce animation. Now adjust the Y position value to move both balls downward until they just sit above the dash line. This creates our basic animation. Let's start with the overshoot ball. Select the position property of the ball overshoot layer. Then go to the Bouncr tool. From the property drop down, make sure position is selected. Under expression, choose overshoot, since this ball is dedicated to show the overshoot animation. Finally, click the bounce it button. Preview the animation and you'll see how overshoot expression moves beyond the final position before setting into place. If you would like to learn more about the Bouncr plugin, check out my dedicated tutorial where I explain how to install, configure and use this free plugin. Now let's apply the second expression. Let's do the same for the second ball. Select the position property of the ball bounce back layer and jump back to the bouncer tool. The property is already set to position, which is perfect. This time change the expression drop down to bounce back and hit the bounce it button. That's it, both expressions have been applied successfully. Preview the animation to clearly see the difference between the overshoot and bounce back animations. To give our graphics some separation from the background, let's add a drop shadow. Go to Effects and Preset panel and search for drop shadow. Drag and drop it right onto our top header rectangle layer. With the layer selected, open Effect Controls panel and adjust settings as follows. Distance around 15, softness around 40, opacity by default 50% is set, which is great for us. This gives us a beautiful soft shadow that makes the header pop. Next, select the drop shadow effect in the Effect Controls panel and press Ctrl+C to copy it. Now in the timeline, select both of our bottom shape layers and hit Ctrl+V to paste the effect. This keeps the lighting, shadows consistent throughout the design. And there you have it. Our final overshoot versus bounce back comparison graphic is complete. Although this is a simple project, it covers several important motion graphics techniques, making it a great exercise if you are new to motion graphic. If you would like, you can grab the exact project file over on my Patreon. The link is waiting for you in the video description below. Thanks so much for watching and I'll see you in the next one.